From this to this. Today we're going to be talking about the greatest navigator on all of the seas, the Straw Hat's very own Nami Bellemere. A common occurrence in the Straw Hat's crew is tough/traumatizing childhoods. Examples of this include Robin, Sanji, Frankie, Zoro, Usopp, and Nami is no exception to this, which, by the way, is one half of the Straw Hat's crew, if you can do maths. Regardless, Nami had arguably the toughest childhood out of anyone in the crew. Nami's story starts out in Kokoyashi village, where she is found and picked up by her mother Bellemere. We start out seeing Nami stealing a book from the village and being reprimanded by Genzo for the act. Following this, she asks Nami why she stole the book, to which Nami replies, "It's because we're broke and you can't afford it." Low blow, Nami. As we continue the story, we see Nami and her sister Nojiko get into an argument where Nami says, "We're not even real sisters." This makes Bellemere furious as she strikes Nami. Nami runs away from her house. Nojiko goes after her to get her back. This is when the arguable most important/traumatizing moment of Nami's childhood occurs. Arlong and the fishermen of his gang pull up on the island. Arlong demands 100,000 berries, or 717 USD, to be allowed to live for adults, and 50,000 berries, or $358.78 USD, for children. This is when unfortunate tragedy strikes Bellemere, as she only has 100,000 berries, and even though she could have used it to save herself, she declares that she will use it for her children instead of lying and saying that they're not hers. Following a short scuffle, Bellemere is killed in a heartbreaking way right in front of Nojiko. Moving on, as the Blue Pinocchio's crew searches Bellemere's house, they find Nami's maps and decide to enslave Nami as their navigator. This cruel act made Nami long for freedom, which Arlong surprisingly quote-unquote gave her. He made a deal with Nami that if she could muster up 100 million berries, he'd free Kokoyashi village, which led to Nami officially joining his crew and leaving the village behind, in the hopes of being able to buy it back. Nami's childhood, like most other Straw Hats', greatly affected her character development and her arc. From the first time Nami appears on screen, we can see how she dislikes pirates, and understandably so, as a pirate killed her mom. I think I'd be pretty pissed too. However, as she first meets Luffy, to us, she seems like a future navigator, the future navigator of the Straw Hats. She kind of is, but regardless, you know what I'm trying to say. But this changes at the RTA, as she ends up betraying the Straw Hats and leaving with their money. Once the Straw Hats reach Kokoyashi village, we get to hear her backstory from her sister, and we get to see how Nami is almost done collecting the $100 million. But that's when tragedy strikes, and blue-nosed Pinocchio betrays her with the help of a bribed marine. Nami's money gets taken away from her, as well as her hopes and dreams to get back to village. This led to her, in a fit of rage, stabbing at her own shoulder at the tattoo of the Arlong crew, the mark of joining Arlong crew, in a symbolic way to leave the crew, when one of the most iconic moments in One Piece takes place. Luffy walks up and stops Nami from stabbing at herself, and places his straw hat on her. This action brings immense comfort to Nami, as she realizes that Luffy just gave away his most treasured item to her, an item that he would be willing to die for, and he entrusted it with her. This leads to the most heartwarming moment in Nami's arc, the moment where her character we truly get to see her character change. We get to see how she develops as she turns around, eyes watering, and asks Luffy for help. One thing that makes this moment so iconic is that Nami has literally never asked for help before. In her entire life, she burdened the responsibility all on herself, and refusing help from the villagers to save her village. She worked hard to save her village, but she did it all alone. Whether she didn't trust people or not is another story, but she still never asked for help, ever in her life, except for now. For the first time, Nami learned that asking for help is okay. In anime and in the real world, asking for help is okay, which is a valuable lesson from Nami's story arc. Afterwards, Luffy and the gang of Straw Hats fight the Arlong crew, and Luffy, as a way to free Nami from her suffering, breaks Arlong Park, and in Arlong Park was the room where she was enslaved. This breaking down of the park symbolizes the end of Nami's suffering, as she's finally free from Arlong, and now she's officially a Straw Hat, leaving behind the tragic memories that occurred. Even after she becomes a Straw Hat, we can still see Nami's character being developed. For one, she learns to trust pirates a lot more throughout the story, understanding that not all pirates are bad. This means that she stopped taking a generalization, which is something a few people in the One Piece world can. As time goes on, her lesson from Bellemere, that family isn't just blood, also becomes a valuable part in her life. She becomes more and more like family to the Straw Hats as the story goes on. We can also see how growing up poor affected her financial decisions in the story, as she longed for many things that she can finally splurge on. Lastly, in the greatest moment of loyalty for Nami, on Wano, all of it culminated into one epic moment, when even if it meant death, she refused to tell the blue-haired beast person. Side note, someone please tell me the blue-haired beast person's name. Like, I just forgot it. I can't find it anywhere. I might just be dumb, but I'm gonna need some help on this one. But she refused to say that Luffy won't be the Pirate King, and declared that he would be. I think this just shows how loyal she is to Luffy, and how he means the world to her as the person who saved her. Another thing is apparent is that Nami's weak spot for children. Growing up, Nami as a child suffered a lot, so she has a weak spot for children who are also suffering. Two most prominent examples of this include the children during Hazard and Momonosuke during the Yonko saga. I think it's pretty clear how she sees those children suffering in Pine Hazard, and she sees the children suffering, child. Is Momonosuke considered a child? Manga readers know that, whatever, regardless. She sees them suffering, and her instinct to save them grows, as in children who are suffering, she sees herself. She sees a little kid who is being forced to do things, or being experimented on, or having a lot of pressure on him, and she wants to save them. I think all of this is what makes Nami such a good character, and it's kind of sad that she's a slept-on character by the fanbase at times, when in reality, she's one of the most complex characters in the story. That's all for today. Thanks.